Have you ever felt a quiet discomfort deep inside you? Like a persistent knot in your chest that won't loosen? You can't name it. It's not exactly anxiety. It's not quite depression. It's something else, something quieter, more patient, and far more dangerous. This isn't just stress. It's something you've been conditioned to ignore, something you've been silently tolerating for years. What if I told you that this unease, this slow burn inside your soul, is actually a warning? A sign that something deep and essential within you is being eroded by what you can't see, not what you can. Welcome to a different kind of conversation, one that isn't about trauma in the headlines or loud, obvious pain. It's about the daily emotional poisons that have been so deeply normalized, you may not even realize you're ingesting them. In this video, we're going to expose 7 hidden emotional behaviors that quietly dismantle your identity, self-respect, and psychological health. One polite smile. 1. It's not a big deal. 1 forced laugh at a time. We're not here to entertain. We're here to wake you up. You've been told that being strong means staying quiet. That love means putting others first. That maturity means not reacting. But this kind of conditioning doesn't build peace. It builds prisons. Over time, you've absorbed so much discomfort, so much subtle mistreatment, that you've become what Jung called the emotional sponge. You take in pain without processing it. You excuse harm without confronting it. And worst of all, you begin to doubt your right to even feel hurt. This isn't oversensitivity. This is your intuition. It's the soft alarm bell of your psyche warning you. You are disappearing. And if you ignore that sound long enough, you risk becoming a stranger to yourself. We turn now to the mind of Carl Jung, the legendary psychologist who recognized early on that the real danger to the human soul isn't massive trauma, everyday poisons we let pass unchallenged. Carl Jung warned us that what we ignore within ourselves festers. He didn't speak just of crises or dramatic trauma, but of the tiny wounds that go unseen, the microaggressions, the disguised mockery, the casual invalidation of our feelings. These experiences, repeated over years, degrade our self-concept like water dripping onto stone. They're invisible termites of the psyche. We call these behaviors covert emotional toxins, and there are 7 that destroy from within. They don't scream. They whisper. They hide behind love, concern, and even humor. And the most dangerous part? Sometimes you have adopted them without knowing it, not from cruelty, but from survival. So let's shine light on the shadow, because once you see them, you can never unsee them. Emotional manipulation doesn't kick in the door. It knocks gently. It whispers. If you really cared, you'd do this. It's the kind of control that wears a mask of love. I'm only saying this because I care about you. But what it really says is, abandon your intuition, doubt your boundaries. Serve my comfort, not your truth. This kind of manipulation slowly robs you of your confidence to make decisions. It exploits your fear of loss. The manipulator doesn't want to dominate you physically. They want to own your emotional world. Jung spoke of the human tendency to avoid their own inner chaos by trying to shape and dominate others. This is emotional colonization, and it always begins with good intentions. Next comes mockery, a knife that laughs while it cuts. It's the cruel comment buried inside a joke. But you're too sensitive when you flinch. The relax, it's just a joke after your worth has been publicly questioned. This is not humor. It's humiliation disguised as play. And the worst part? The human brain doesn't know the difference between joke and truth. If you hear that you're inadequate even in jest, your subconscious believes it. Over time, these jokes teach you to sit still while you're devalued. And because speaking up makes you the killjoy, you stay quiet and broken. Gaslighting is psychological warfare. It's the systematic denial of your reality. It starts small. You're imagining things. That didn't happen. You're overreacting. But each denial is a chisel against your sanity. Eventually, you begin to believe it. You rewrite your memories. You second-guess your emotions. You betray your own intuition. Jung called this internal betrayal when your own mind turns against you, trained to serve someone else's version of reality. And the more you try to find your footing, the more disoriented you become. Gaslighting doesn't leave bruises. It leaves confusion and silence. You're being too sensitive. You're overthinking it. Just get over it. These aren't just dismissive phrases. They are emotional erasers. When someone repeatedly tells you that your feelings are too much, eventually you believe them. You learn to swallow your pain. You apologize for being human. You bury your emotions so deeply that even you forget how to feel them. Jung warned that repressed emotion doesn't die. It festers. It becomes anxiety, insomnia, rage, and depression. You didn't heal. You buried it alive. The next poison is cold, icy. It's the silence that screams, the glance that freezes you, the unanswered messages, the sudden absence. Silent contempt is the slow, suffocating starvation of emotional connection. Unlike yelling, this behavior punishes by absence. It makes you feel invisible, unworthy, forgotten. And the most dangerous part is that it offers no confrontation, nothing to fight, nothing to fix, just avoid. Jung taught that contempt destroys connection and trust, leaving emotional corpses where once there was love. You were taught that to be good, you must give everything. That loving others means putting them first, always. That maturity means silence and sacrifice. But let me ask you, if you are constantly erasing yourself, who exactly is being loved? Sacrifice is only virtuous when it's chosen, not expected. When it serves connection, not control. When you give so much that you no longer exist in your own life, you've crossed the line from love into self-erasure. Jung's idea of the self is central here. The psyche's goal is wholeness. And wholeness dies when you become what others need instead of who you truly are. This is the final poison and the most tragic. After enough mockery, denial, gaslighting, and self-abandonment, a person stops fighting. They accept crumbs of love. They tell themselves, this is normal. I just need to be less emotional. This is all I deserve. This is not survival. This is psychic death, Jung's term for the loss of the inner fire, the surrender of identity. You stop living and begin existing. You don't belong, you're tolerated. And you've convinced yourself that this is better than being alone. But I'm here to tell you, it's not. There is something worse than loneliness, betraying yourself to avoid it. So now that you've seen the 7 poisons, what next? Awareness is only the beginning. Change begins with a simple, radical decision. I will no longer betray myself. That may mean setting boundaries. It may mean losing relationships. It may mean grieving the version of yourself that endured in silence. But it also means this: you begin to live. You will be called dramatic, difficult, overreacting. That's fine, because the price of peace can no longer be your silence. As Jung said, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. Today, you've made it conscious. So if this resonated with you, don't just nod. Don't just share. Affirm it out loud in the comments. What you tolerate buries you. That is your vow to stop swallowing poison, to start living as someone worthy not of tolerance, but of truth. The power was never in their hands. It was always in yours. If this video cracked something open in you, don't leave in silence. Comment below with, "No more silent poison." Let that be your declaration, your line in the sand. Share your story. Your voice could be the mirror someone else desperately needs. Like, subscribe, and hit the bell because we're not done. Not even close.